We do have some people who are following along, so if you want to ask questions and send them in, we'll try to field them from the stage as well.
Those people who are engaging are your stars. And those people who are engaging are the people I mean when I say get people to bond to each other. I've done webinars where the most productive outcome of the webinar, like even if nothing I said was useful at all, was that a bunch of people following the hashtag connected to each other and started sharing best practices and became a network. So not only think about measuring who's engaging, but think about how can you shine attention on them.
First and foremost, companies are poor at listening. People are going to disagree with you because all companies out there are listening in the space, blah, 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 blah. There's statistics, 90% of companies are listening in social media. That's great, fine and dandy. Only 17% of them actually have done anything with the information that they found.
Yeah, at Gatorade, what we've really done is we've brought listening to the core of our business and what we call mission control.
First, we have to move away from thinking in terms of buying or trying to resonate with demographics, or with psychographics, or with behavioral targeting, or geo-targeting, or social targeting. It's not enough to look at the world, and this is going to sound crazy, but it's not enough to look at the world through the lens of people. We also have to look at the world through the lens of pop culture, and culture much, much more strongly. Geographic data is going to matter an incredible amount. Just as we go more global, we're going to go more hyper-local, and that's going to be a very big thing. But it's something we must always consider and also put in context. The real time is very important, but so is the timeless. And real success comes when you bring those two together.
Very cautious about it not being viewed as something we're doing for marketing, if that makes any sense. We very much want, we are affecting the way our business makes decisions, and we're also trying, and so I think if we think about who we're trying to influence lawmakers, we're trying to influence corporate social responsibility, like Human Rights Watch, for example, and we're trying to influence governments around the world. So that lends itself to a different type of communication. So it's not mass. It's more very, very targeted to specific people who can make decisions when it comes to free expression.
But the Joplin situation was the same thing. We definitely did not want to come up as being a part of a marketing message, but back to it has to be a part of the DNA of us going into our communities. So what we did was, if we saw anything on Twitter, we were retweeting, the media outlet that was reporting what we were doing. We were doing a sale from headquarters. We were doing a share night, in all of the St. Louis restaurants. So we were very kind of subversive. We would use our own internal networks. I think I tweeted about 80 of my friends, can you please retweet this link? And no mention of me, no mention of parties. It just went back right to the media, which is great media relations, by the way. And it got the message out. And that night for the share night, just from the average of what we did for the last 4 weeks, it went up from 4,000 to 25,000.
I did get this nugget from Guy Kawasaki, though. He came and presented to all 30 of our clubs at our All-Star Weekend, which was, and I'm sure you all follow Guy, so you all know that, he's essentially a news bot, but what he said is, you tweet one link once, you get 400 clicks, you tweet that same link 4 times a day, you get 1,600 clicks. So we piloted that after hearing that, and our finding has been essentially the same. Do people unfollow us? Of course they do. But the positive certainly outweighs the negative.
Customer sentiment. While at the end of the day, most people are on Twitter complaining about us or our product, we are finding that in social media, the sentiment about Delta has improved over the last 7 months by 7%, which is a good sign for us. And then overwhelmingly positive feedback about our customer service representatives.
So we quickly worked with Facebook to implement the publish to Facebook functionality on Eventbrite. So this enabled us through the Facebook API with one click to republish your Eventbrite event directly into a Facebook event, much more easily taking advantage of the social graph to spread the word. So what social media does is it allows event organizers to reach people that are explicitly interested in their event, and chances are their friends and their networks will be interested in their event as well.
Our first customer and one of our advisory board members is a mutual fund company, and he said, yeah, this is great, but we really need compliance. And so our first product to market is actually a social media compliance solution that helps customers, particularly customers that are in regulated spaces like financial, insurance, healthcare, use and engage social media and avoid the kinds of snafus that we all know, where people say inappropriate things or possibly damaging things either to the brand or even get them into trouble legally. So our tool really helps prevent a lot of those things.
This is a very simple solution for a company just trying to start out. Is we created an email address that these listeners were all connected to. So anything interesting that others needed to know about, hey, this guy blogged and said this thing that could be concerning for us. Then the whole group knows. The appropriate people can decide, okay, this one person's going to respond.
We're seeing vendor management and procurement being the biggest problem. So we're seeing marketers and social media practitioners go, well, I want that, and then they're taking 90 days for IT compliance, security, and all the legal vendor stuff to come through. So we're seeing tremendous demand. We have over 1,100 companies who have signed up to be on the invite list. Unfortunately, we haven't called back about 1,000. So if anyone signed up, I haven't called back, we're sorry.
I want to take one. Why should social media customer service get as much attention as it's getting?
I think what part of the answer is context. Like, you're getting someone in his environment or her environment, and they're much more comfortable there. And when you provide them service in their environment, they'd be much more thankful for that. So I think that's part of the reason why social media.
I also think it's public. It's a public statement.
Thank you.
Dear Delta, I have to go to the bathroom and there's no toilet paper. Or dear Delta, that's not direct to Delta. That's to everybody.
Yeah, everyone sees that.
A really simple kind of guerrilla strategy is just your endemic keywords using search on Twitter, right? Because there's things that are going to relate to your industry that no one else is going to use.
And context is key to understanding whatever we call network value, whether it's influence or value.